This is the vehicle I'm working on today. It's a 2004 Chrysler PT Cruiser 2.4 liter turbo. We got some fault codes today. P0340 and P1188. I would imagine that these codes are probably very familiar to anyone who works on Chryslers, especially with these turbo systems. So I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit about what I'm going to do today and just intro this video. If you're new to auto repair and you're new to my channel, you're going to like what I teach on my channel. I go over things pretty methodically and I'm pretty thorough about my diagnostics. And because I do this for money, this is my business, I gotta try to be as accurate as I can, and I can't slack too much, even though I do understand a lot of the systems and I understand how to work on them, and I know what the usual suspects are as far as parts to replace and where to start with first. But don't ever get into that attitude that you think you know everything, because if you think you know everything, your career is over in auto repair. So take it slow to go fast, do the basics brilliantly. You will be a good mechanic and you will stand out among other mechanics of your peers or wherever you work or whatever you do. Just have pride in what you do and be the best mechanic that you can. And the first step to being the best mechanic you can is diagnosing properly and doing things methodically and doing things the right way. If you learned something by the end of this video, please like, subscribe, and share my video and rewatch. I appreciate every one of you who watch my videos. Thank you, and let's get started. First thing I want to show is that on this particular model, and I'm sure of the same vintage up or down a few years, has this solenoid set here, and this is on the passenger side here, and it's just located right over here in the corner. And they got a lot of vacuum hoses. You can see, look at all those vacuum hoses right there. They're hard plastic lines, and each solenoid has 2 of them. Now, all these solenoids have a job to do. These solenoids are very important to everything going on in these particular systems that require these solenoids in vacuum. So the one starting to the left is the tip solenoid, the middle one is the surge solenoid, and then the far right one is the wastegate solenoid. If any of these vacuum hoses get cut, melted, or disturbed or unplugged, things are going to malfunction. And the check engine light fault code that I have is that P1188 code, and that is what I believe related to one of these solenoids here. In the interest of making this video a little bit shorter, I'm going to kind of show you a few things here. First, thing that I noticed was when I went to go look at this vacuum line, I noticed that it looked okay, and then I kept looking and I kept searching around to see if there was an issue, and then I came across that cut hose right there. So you see that right there, that hose is cut. It's not even connected. So I'm not saying that this is the 100% problem, but looking at this right here, this is what we call a known problem. In the world of auto repair, this is a known problem. If you fix this first, odds are it's probably that's all that it needs. There could be more, but I see this here, so I'm pretty much putting all my money on this is going to fix the problem. I do want to at least check the solenoids and go from there, but yeah. So a simple inspection of your vacuum hoses that run to all these 3 solenoids can really make the difference between finding the problem and not finding the problem. And then eventually you'll either fix it or not fix it. So we want to make sure we fix it. The first solenoid I'm going to test is the borrow solenoid, which is, I believe, Chrysler calls this the tip solenoid. And it's a part of the turbo system. And so I'm going to check to see if I got control on that solenoid. As you can see there, the light is flashing. If you're going to set up a little light like this connected to these solenoids, use a fused jumper lead. That way if you accidentally touch them, and I just back probed it so I don't damage these front pins that go into the actual solenoid. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to plug the solenoid directly in to listen to the solenoid click off and on. And not only can I feel it, but I can hear it. I started kind of moving gently on this plastic hose here, and I snapped a piece off. And so that's a problem there. And there'll probably be more of that if the customer doesn't want to replace this whole bundle of these hard plastic lines. I'm going to recommend that they do that. And so what the fix is I just stuck a piece of vacuum hose and just used my diagonal cutters and found an appropriate length. And I'm just going to merge these two together and clear all the fault codes. I reconnected it to the boot that goes into the this airtake boot here that goes into the throttle body. So it's all reconnected here. And then I actually broke another piece, so I had to splice it again. And I don't like doing repairs like this, but the customer they don't want to replace all those hoses. And it's a special order from Chrysler, so I'm going to tell them that we need to get this done. If something else happens, it's not my fault. And the next time I see them, it's going to be, for this particular problem, it's going to be replacing all those vacuum tubes there. I'll go ahead and clear all the fault codes. And if you're wondering what this scanner is, this is called a Launch Pro Mini. And these are about between $600 to $800, depending on where you buy it. They're really affordable. And if you are doing auto repair for money, as a business, you need to have at least something like this. This would be the cheapest scanner that I would recommend getting. And this has fixed so many problems for me. This does so many different things. And that other test you saw me, the actuation test, that's a nice feature of a bidirectional scanner. And that's what this is. This is a full service bidirectional scan tool. It's called a Launch Pro Mini. These are awesome. So I'm going to erase all the fault codes here. It allows me to erase every fault code stored in the onboard computers. Everything in here is going to go away. And then I'll also rescan it and see if I got any other fault codes. So off camera, I'm going to connect that hose, and then I'm going to go ahead and road test this thing and make sure that the fault code does not come back. Everything is all back to normal again. So as you can see there, I did a quick erase and erased everything. And so basically now I'm just starting from a point of there's no fault code stored in the main engine computer, the PCM, or any of the other modules. As you can see here, there's 6 of them. And that's where I'm at now. So I'm going to road test it and just hopefully keep my fingers crossed and we're not going to have an issue. And I'll be super happy.